All right, stand by to go live. 5, 4, 3.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here for this update on our Lincoln on the Move Street Improvement Project. Joining me today are the Christmas Rockettes. With Liz Elliott with Lincoln Transportation Utilities, Dave Engler with Lincoln Fire and Rescue, Jason Ball with the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, Kyle Fischer with the Realtors Association, Lincoln City Council members Brodey, Weber, and Sandra Washington, Beau Daffer with the Home Builders Association, and Jeanne McClure with the City of Lincoln's Advisory Committee on Transportation, also known as the ACT. And Councilman Benny Shobe has also joined the chorus line. All right, investing in streets across our city and within our neighborhoods is a top priority for all of us who call Lincoln home. Well-maintained streets are essential. They support economic opportunity, they enhance public safety, and they grow the great life for everyone here in Lincoln. And that's why in 2019, Lincoln voters affirmed the value we all place on streets by approving a quarter-cent sales tax to fund a 6-year street improvement initiative that we call Lincoln on the Move. And this morning, we're gathered here to release our 2024 Lincoln on the Move annual report. And while our annual report illustrates the specific projects that Lincoln on the Move funding has achieved for our community in the past year, it also helps us see clearly how much our community's growth, quality of life, traffic flow, and public safety depend upon Lincoln on the Move funding. In less than a year, Lincoln on the Move funding is set to expire, putting the ability to do as many street projects as we have this past year and to achieve these really important outcomes for our community at risk. Simply put, with Lincoln on the Move, we have seen the acceleration of our community's economy, safety, and quality of life. Without Lincoln on the Move, about $18 million in annual street funding goes away, a severe blow to our community's momentum and quality of life. So here to provide more details about Lincoln on the Move and the consequences of a potential loss of its funding is Lincoln Transportation Utilities Director Liz Elliott. Director Elliott?
Thank you, Mayor. Today we are here to deliver an important message. The Lincoln on the Move annual report shows just how critical the quarter-cent sales tax is to improving our city's transportation system. The sales tax expires in September 2025. Going without it means a future with fewer street improvements, longer wait times for street projects, and higher street repair costs for everyone as interest rates and material costs continue to climb. Bid prices for most key construction items continue to experience double-digit percentage increases. For example, pavement removal costs 34% more in 2024 than it did in 2020. So by investing now, we save more in the long run. Taking action today will lead to benefits tomorrow. The last 5 years of the Lincoln on the Move quarter-cent sales tax has brought in nearly $80 million in street funding. By the time the sales tax expires, we estimate it will generate a total of $102 million. With that additional funding, we have been able to quadruple the number of street improvements across the community. Without quarter-cent sales tax revenue, we would not have been able to support 65 additional street projects over the 6-year span of Lincoln on the Move. With Lincoln on the Move, we have greatly accelerated progress on our streets. At the City of Lincoln, we will always continue to build new streets and maintain existing ones to serve our growing community. However, without additional sales tax funds to offset the future gap in funding, we would need to prepare for a much different reality. A reality with significant negative impacts on street safety, congestion, and future costs. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Elliott, and thank you to everyone at LTU for your incredibly dedicated work to delivering these street improvements and construction projects throughout the period of Lincoln on the Move. Well-maintained streets and roads are crucial for many reasons, and one of them is for maintaining our rapid public safety response. And here to share more about the importance of Lincoln on the Move from a public safety perspective is Lincoln Fire and Rescue Chief Dave Engler. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. Funding streets is how first responders like police, EMTs, and firefighters get to emergencies faster and safer. Our city is growing with houses being constructed further from the nearest fire station. In a medical emergency, we have to reach our patient within 4 minutes to ensure the best outcome for our patients. New roads ensure that our firefighters shave off that extra minute or even 30 seconds that can be the difference in those emergencies. In the core of the city, the difference between a road filled with potholes and a road that has been newly repaved is a factor in how quickly and safely we reach your family. Lincoln on the Move is also providing the funding to the Railroad Transportation Safety District. I want to thank County Commissioner Rick Vest and the other members of the RTSD for creating safety improvements at railroad crossings that help prevent crashes. They are protecting both the community and the first responders who serve the community. It's clear the quarter-cent sales tax that we are already paying supports public safety. The loss of that funding would be a significant impact on our efforts. Mayor?
Thank you, Chief, to you and our team at LFR for taking such good care of our community members in their moments of need. Now, here to talk more about the importance of Lincoln on the Move to businesses and how visitors to Lincoln play a vital role in supporting Lincoln on the Move is Lincoln Chamber of Commerce President and CEO, Jason Ball. Jason?
Thank you, Mayor, and good morning. The Lincoln Chamber recognizes that robust street funding is vital to the city's economic growth by ensuring efficient movement of goods and services across town, which supports business and fosters job creation. Investing in new streets and roads also addresses housing needs by opening up areas for development and increasing the housing supply, which keeps downward pressure on the cost of housing in Lincoln. Well-maintained streets also strengthen Lincoln's ability to attract tourism events, drawing more visitors who spend on local goods and services and boost sales tax revenue. Smooth, navigable streets are essential to a positive visitor experience. So I'm proud to stand here today in support of initiatives like Lincoln on the Move. You know, earlier this year we stood at a press briefing much like this one, and I kind of warned everyone. This summer we're going to have some temporary disruptions in the flow of our traffic. And while that pain was felt this year, it was temporary. And now that it's over, we have these greatly improved roadways, including the smooth 84th Street corridor north and south of O, Layton Street from 48th to 70th, and even right outside this building on the 11th Street corridor. Without Lincoln on the Move, the local option sales tax, these projects would not have happened, and we will miss future opportunities to fix important corridors in the future. If we want a good driving experience in town, if we want more homes built, if we want a growing economy, and those are things that the business community decidedly desires, then transportation networks need to be invested in. This is our opportunity to make sure business remains strong, housing development grows affordably, and we bring more tourism events to Lincoln. And all that work would be in jeopardy if we did not have the quarter-cent sales tax now and in the future. Through Lincoln on the Move, the people of Lincoln are empowered to choose to invest in our community and its economic future. And in 2025, we hope that they will. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Jason. And as our partners in local government, our Lincoln City Council members play a key role in supporting the street improvements. They, too, know just how important these improvements are to our business community, to our public safety, to our growth, to our tourism, and to our quality of life. So here to talk more about the citywide impact of Lincoln on the Move is Lincoln City Councilmember Brodey Weber. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. While it may be hard for some people to believe, I know there are people in my life that can attest, I love to talk about roads. And so I feel really fortunate to be here to talk about the work that Lincoln on the Move has done. As a result of the voters approving Lincoln on the Move, the city is able to deliver on its promise to prioritize and improve our streets as our community continues to grow. Lincoln on the Move has delivered new and resurfaced streets all across Lincoln to support all of our residents, regardless of their zip code. And I can say that confidently because Lincoln on the Move truly does touch every zip code. From improving arterial streets in busy and growing areas like North 14th, North 48th, 84th Street, Cotner Boulevard, and Yankee Hill Road, to taking care of residential streets in neighborhoods like Belmont, Capitol Beach, McPhee, Near South, Witherby, and the Highlands, where I grew up and now have the privilege of representing on the Lincoln City Council. Without this quarter-cent sales tax, we would have been unable to complete some of our major projects in a timely manner, as Director Elliott alluded to. Whether it's as a driver, as a passenger, or as a pedestrian, you can see that Lincoln on the Move contributes to street progress in every corner of our city. And it's became abundantly clear to me that a potential loss of this critical road funding would impact every citizen in every corner of Lincoln. Thank you so much, and thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Weber, and thank you to all of our council members because you've been absolutely vital in this work. Because you know that streets help support home construction, which in turn helps more Lincoln families realize the dream of home ownership. And growing the supply of housing in our community is another city priority. And here to talk about how the potential loss of funding would impact home sales is Kyle Fischer, CEO of the Realtors Association of Lincoln and of the Great Plains Regional MLS. Kyle?
Thank you, Mayor. Great to be up here today. Honored to be part of this group and have the opportunity to come up here, talk about the connection between roads and what is, quite frankly, a family, an individual, their largest single investment that they will make in their life, and that's achieving their dream and their goal of home ownership. I really want to echo the comments that have already been said, especially Jason and the mayor, and what I'm sure Beau will talk about. It's no secret Lincoln faces the same housing market challenges that my peers across the country face. The supply of housing units it's just not keeping up with demand. That drives up prices, that increases competition, that keeps first-time home buyers from getting into the market and achieving their dreams of home ownership. We need to build our way out of this problem. And that doesn't mean an endless expanse of single-family homes for miles, but it does mean growth, and that's geographic growth, because Lincoln is in demand. That's what I think everybody has to understand, and we all can agree on. Lincoln is an in-demand city. People want to move here. We have good jobs. We have a great community. We need roads. We need access to water. We need a robust sewer system. That's what's going to help sell a community as much as anything. It's hard for realtors to help people achieve their dreams and buy and sell homes and businesses when we don't have the infrastructure to support them. That's why I'm honored to be up here representing the realtors. That's why our organization wants to be here hand in hand to help celebrate our successes this past year with Lincoln on the Move and the 0.25% sales tax. And I think we really look forward to what the future holds for a great place like Lincoln, especially as we improve our infrastructure. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Kyle, for your years of work to advance infrastructure in our community. We really appreciate our partnership. And I want to say that we are going to talk a little bit more about how streets support jobs, business development, and home building related topic. And that's Beau Daffer is here with the president of the Home Builders Association of Lincoln. Beau?
Thank you, Mayor. So as the mayor said, my name is Beau Daffer, and I'm with BIC Custom Homes. I am the current president of the Home Builders Association of Lincoln. Streets are vital to grow housing availability in Lincoln, which is why the Home Builders Association of Lincoln has and continues to support the Lincoln on the Move sales tax for street construction. No streets, no houses. I mean, it's that simple. Lincoln on the Move provides funding for streets, which are necessary infrastructure to build new housing. Increasing the inventory and supply of housing in Lincoln lowers the cost of all housing across the city. Affordable and safe housing attracts businesses to Lincoln, providing new job opportunities and a strong community. New streets means more houses, more jobs, and a stronger community. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks so much, Beau. Mic drop. All right, so thank you for being here today to speak on behalf of the home builders. The decision on where to direct Lincoln on the Move investments is led by our Lincoln Transportation and Utilities Department with the vital guidance and oversight of our Advisory Committee on Transportation, or the ACT. And the ACT is a 14-member, all-volunteer body of community members that has dedicated significant time and energy to provide this extra layer of assurance and oversight with the deployment of Lincoln on the Move funding. We're really grateful for their service that they're performing for our community, and we'd love to hear from one of them now. So I'd like to invite up ACT co-chair Jeanne McClure, who will share how the ACT works to provide improvements to our streets through Lincoln on the Move.
Thank you, Mayor. As a public member of ACT and a representative of the American Council of Engineering Companies, it's hard to deny that streets are being improved at a faster pace now than ever before the Lincoln on the Move quarter-cent sales tax existed. The engineers that I work closely with let the numbers and the data do the talking. In year 5 alone, the city built nearly 19 lane miles of major arterial streets and 8 lane miles of residential streets for a total of 27 lane miles. And in the last 5 years, the quarter-cent sales tax funding has been key to completing nearly 163 lane miles of streets in all 4 quadrants of the city. That is like driving from the Highlands Golf Course in Northwest Lincoln all the way to Southwood Lutheran Church in South Lincoln nearly 11 times. These results improve everyone's daily commutes, from StarTran riders who travel from work, school, appointments, and shopping, to pedestrians and bicyclists who ride on smoother, safer streets, to drivers who reap the benefits of an enhanced transportation system. These numbers and data don't lie. Without the quarter-cent sales tax, these crucial improvements stop, leading to potholes and worn-down streets beyond routine maintenance. And that's not the Lincoln we want our families or businesses or for our future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeanne, for being here today and for the important work that you've been doing as a part of the ACT, and to all the members of the ACT who've been such a vital part of this initiative. Now here to provide a few final words on Lincoln on the Move is, again, LTU Director Liz Elliott.
Thank you. You've all heard today what we stand to lose. Once the Lincoln on the Move sales tax expires in September 2025, without continued funding, prepare for an immediate slowdown on all street improvement progress. Expect even less movement in our ability to construct new streets. Expect to wait longer for street projects and prepare for an overall less maintained ride. As we look into the future of our street funding, consider reviewing this year's Lincoln on the Move annual report. Go to lincoln.ne.gov/streets to view the report. Thank you.
Thank you again, Director Elliott. With that, we would be happy to open this up for questions from the media.
So, when are you going to ask voters? I'm assuming you are going to ask voters. Do you want to see it on the May ballot?
We are not making any announcements on that today, but what we are trying to demonstrate today is the community engagement that is well underway about the importance of Lincoln on the Move and what we stand to lose if it does expire in the fall of 2025.
What discussions, what are those behind the scenes efforts you've been doing other than standing here today?
Well, thank you for acknowledging that there's a lot of work that goes into this, because there is. I mean, there are meetings about what has worked, what do people like about the current initiative, what improvements do they appreciate, what do they want to see if there is a continuation, and what are the best ways to go about engaging more broadly in the community. Part of that led us to this announcement today of the projects and what we stand to lose if it does go away. This is part of that community conversation we think is vital to have before any announcement is officially made.
Have there been conversations about asking for more than a quarter cent?
Yes.
And can you elaborate about how or what that might look like, or what those discussions have been like?
I think what I want to say about that is that we know there is a need. The very first Lincoln on the Move committee identified a gap in street funding that far exceeds what a quarter cent can fill. But all of us want to strike a balance. We want to make sure that we continue to have an affordable city, a great quality of life, and well-maintained streets. That's a balance that we want to work with. We are sensitive to costs, but also really, really aware of how important well-maintained streets are for safety, for economic growth, and our quality of life.
Have the increased costs led to part of that discussion about possibly asking for more than quarters? Or
This conversation is set in motion really by the date of the expiration of the current initiative.
well, I just meant the possibility of asking for more than a quarter cent. Is it driven by increased costs, or just the work that needs to be done, or that perhaps there's other work you want to include in that quarter cent sales, or in that sales tax?
I don't know if I can answer that question at this time. We're just really here to release the annual report and talk about what we've been able to achieve with the resources we have, and to highlight the fact that about $18 million a year has been going into streets, and that money is not going to be available after September of 2025 unless voters say they want it. Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for joining us for this news conference on just how essential Lincoln on the Move is to our city's transportation system and to continuing to grow the great life in Lincoln. And thank you again to all of the folks, stakeholders, community leaders who've joined me today for this important conversation.